You know, I've already made one video on this. It really hit me hard. I didn't know the guy. I don't know him personally, Charlie Kirk. Um, but he's a very prominent individual. And it's a national story. And I think what's hitting me hard about this is the realization of where we're at as a nation politically. You had those state lawmakers essentially assassinated. I think it was in Minnesota. You have Charlie Kirk. You had the attempt on Trump's life. Then you had a couple other potential attempts on his life that were stopped before anything was fired. We're not in a good place. We're not. I mainly talk about games and anime on this channel. And the sad thing is, politics is everywhere. And that also includes video games. The people who are making these games are very political. Not everybody, but enough of them are. And sadly, we're in a position where these people on the left, even the people who are involved in making video games that are political, the people I'm kind of talking about a little bit. Again, I'm not solely pointing them out, but I'm pointing them out because I talk about games. So this is important to me, right? These are the people making the games that I potentially play. But we're in a situation now where you have a good portion of one side of the political aisle celebrating that someone who thinks differently than they do, someone who has different political opinions than they do, someone who's never hurt anybody in his life. He's not a dictator. He's not Joseph Stalin. He's not Adolf Hitler. He's not the Chinese guy who killed those millions of people. I can't think of his name right now. He's not hurt anybody. And they're celebrating the death of this individual purely because he had differences of opinion. Drew, whoever the fuck this individual is, over on Blue Sky, they claim to be a senior staff character texture, look dev, and annoying extrovert at Sucker Punch. Well, Sucker Punch is making the new Ghost of Yotai, or Yote, whatever the fuck the name is. And they stated over there through this screenshot here, I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. He died doing what he loved, being a transphobic, racist bigot. He reposted that one. The first one I read, he actually stated. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, seriously. A guy who is a father to two young kids. Yeah, I'm a father. I have a kid in middle school, and I have a kid who we just sent off to college this year. They know me, and I know them. His kids will never get to know him because some whack job out there thought that his political beliefs were so important that it warranted, it justified killing this individual, killing Charlie Kirk. I don't know why this is hitting me so fucking hard, man. I don't fully understand it. It's hitting me hard. And it's driving me up the wall that people are like this. I guess it's just hit me hard because I'm finally realizing, like I said earlier, where we stand. Where we stand. This is why I tell my kids, be careful talking about politics. You shouldn't be talking about politics to people you don't know. People you don't know well. Growing up, there was a saying my parents told me. There's two things you never talk about: religion and politics. This is why. I mean, we were nowhere near as divided back then, but we are now, and it's even more important now because we are so divided now. And I blame the politicians, and I blame the media. The media more so than anything else. They have lied. They have misled people. And they stated things with such language. And politicians do this too. Okay. But the media is responsible for relaying a lot of this to the people. But they would use words and language to other people to claim that we are evil. And you don't believe that. What do you think they mean when they call us a Nazi? What do you think they mean when they say we're a threat to democracy? What do you do to threats? Naturally, what do people do to something that they perceive as a threat? Do you think they just vote them out of office? You can't vote me out of office. I'm voting for someone else. So what do you do about me? And this individual post was liked by Lee Cash, senior producer at the Coalition. Then you have another senior producer at Sucker Punch, SFX associate producer at Bungie. Then you have Exhib, they, them, producer at MTG Arena. I'm assuming that means Magic the Gathering, previously at Sucker Punch and Nightshade, whatever that is. You have people in video games that are celebrating his death. So the voice actor for Woglamount for Final Fantasy 14 has come out and basically endorsed this kind of rhetoric and stated this: everything conservatives do makes complete sense when you accept that they are a death cult trying to accelerate the second coming of Jesus and usher in the apocalypse. I'm telling you right now, this individual has mental illness issues. She's got mental, or he's got mental issues. He really does. I mean, he thinks that conservatives are trying to escalate or accelerate the second coming. We don't know when he's going to come. We can't accelerate any fucking thing. The only person who knows when the second coming of Jesus is coming is God himself. I'm sorry. It is specifically stated that in the Bible. Nobody knows but him. Okay? We can't accelerate anything. What do you mean by death cult? What are you implying by that? Are you implying that we're killing people? So here's the problem with people like this. When you use language like this, you are implying to other people, again, that we are evil, that we're going around and killing people. And like I said before, what is it that people naturally want to do when they perceive something as a threat? Some of the language is being used. You're going to get people out there so mentally riled up, radicalized, that they're going to drive themselves insane if they're not already insane. And they will go out and attack people because you're sitting here claiming we're a death cult. You know, how am I to think that this individual is not going to come out and do something? I mean, these are insane words. As far as I'm concerned, this person should be closely watched. That's why trying to use logic to reason with them is a waste of time. They only care about fulfilling revelation. So if we're not to use logic to reason with them, what other methods and steps do we have to deal with them? That's what they're implying right there. That's what they're implying. They basically are okay with political violence. Because look, if you can't talk with them, then there's only one other method to deal with them. I'm sorry. There is no other interpretation of what this individual is trying to say. If they only knew facts, logic, and reason, then they would change their minds, in quotations. He goes on to say, they are school bullies on the playground that believe in magic. You need to be the bigger, meaner bullies. I'm going to make a broad statement. And if you're an atheist and you listen to this and you don't believe this, please know that I am not talking to you about this. Okay, because I understand it's a broad statement and I'm painting with a very broad brush. And that doesn't always mean that everybody's like this. But we're talking in generalities here, okay? But this is why I hate atheists. This is why I do not like people who don't believe in God. Not because, or don't believe in religion, right? And not because they don't believe in religion, it's because they hate you for believing in religion. I mean, look what this whole thing post here is about conservatives, Christians, how we believe in magic, and how we're a death cult trying to accelerate the second coming of Jesus. You don't think that's bad? Okay, well, let's look at the lead English localizer for Square Enix, another Final Fantasy 14 employee. Okay. One of the things they initially posted, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, right here. Okay, it's right here. So she basically got in trouble for saying, anyway, the choice America faces going forward is live in the Confederacy or do Reconstruction for real and purge those motherfuckers from all public life. And there isn't really an in between. Do we not understand what she's trying to imply here? What this individual is actually conveying to us? She doesn't mean she wants us to sit at home and not go out in the public. That's not what that implication is. That's not what that statement is trying to imply. It's not what the implication of that statement is. Not to mention, this person is a little loony. Live in the Confederacy? I'm sorry. When did they win the war? I don't recall Confederate flags being flown anywhere. And I don't recall us trying to bring slavery back. Well, is this person living in the 1860s? Confederacy? Reconstruction? Really? This person needs to be on medication. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they're on too much medication. This person needs to be on a watch list. I'm sorry. This person should be on a watch list because they're nuts, and who knows what they may do. And then they're over there on Blue Sky complaining that Blue Sky moderation is suspending people for posting Kirk's own words, which tells you everything you need to know. So they were going nuts on Blue Sky. You don't believe me? I'll show you here in a second what they were doing. And so they started banning these people, and they have to because they're over there celebrating it and they're calling for more. And so then Kate, basically stated, I mean, I don't know. I do think we should be planning a mass exodus of this site. So now, so they left Twitter because they didn't like Twitter because people had different opinions and that, they were now finally on Twitter being held accountable for what they said on that website, right? Because before Elon Musk bought it, it was kind of very one-sided from a moderation standpoint. When he bought it, he kind of opened things up. He stopped the whole one-sided moderation. You started seeing a lot of pushback, and they couldn't handle that. So they ran all to Blue Sky. Blue Sky was supposed to be the alternative to Twitter now, right? It's supposed to be the left safe space. But now that they're doing this, they're like, oh no, we can't do that. But she goes on to say, I do think we should be planning a mass exodus of this site. Earlier on, you could kind of give the benefit of the doubt in some cases due to moderation being inherently challenging. But they've made it pretty clear they're intentionally aligning with the boot at this point. So she's implying that for whatever reason, a boot is being put at her neck. I don't know what imaginary boot she thinks that is, or how oppressed that she thinks she's being. I don't know. I mean, if anyone has a cool Mastodon instance or something, let me know. Ultimately, I knew before even migrating here that the real answer is we're all going to have to break off and start our own communities. But obviously, that's not an insignificant amount of work. So here's the problem. Here's the problem with echo chambers, like she's trying to basically state here in that last sentence. You will not succeed in anything other than radicalizing yourself. Because if you surround yourself with a lot of people who believe the exact same things you do, you will rile each other up to the point where you're all foaming at the mouth, going rabid, and you're somebody or you hurt yourself. And that's what's happening. They surround themselves with nobody but people who believe like they do. So if you happen to come across them and they realize you believe something entirely different, they can't handle it because to them, their entire world is their beliefs. So when someone comes into their world that believes differently, they don't know how to deal with it. It doesn't compute for them. And it drives them up a wall that someone out there thinks differently and may actually challenge them on what they believe. And what they don't realize is that's the vast majority of people. Because these people are nuts. These aren't your moderate Democrats. The problem is the moderate Democrats are so worried about political power, they are afraid to call these people out and hold them to account. So what were they actually doing on Blue Sky? What were they actually doing? I hope they do Joe Rogan next. Nice. Can we do Ben Shapiro next? J.K. Rowling next. J.K. Rowling next. Rolling next. Anyways, Ben Shapiro next. Ben Shapiro next. Honestly, as much as I want to say, okay, do Ben Shapiro next, we really got to start rooting for a good Samaritan to hit up Dennis Prager. What? Matt Walsh next, please. Ben Shapiro next. Ben Shapiro next or Joe Rogan next or whatever. Yeah, that'd be cool. But how about J.K. Rowling next? See? These are the nut jobs over on Blue Sky. This is why Blue Sky has started, I guess, to moderate, because you can't have this shit. You can't. All it takes is for one person to see this, get themselves so riled up. They're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. They're calling for it. They want us to do it. I'm going to go do it. And they go do it. I mean, this shit's getting real. I mean, he had a family, 2 kids, and they're not going to know him. So, Asmongold, and I made a video about this. I don't know if I'll post it with Asmongold because I reacted to the video he made, but he basically said that things are going to get worse. He's been calling this for quite a while. He's been, for as long as he's been a full-time political streamer, he's been talking about the rhetoric online, X, Reddit, Blue Sky, and how dangerous it's getting and how it's continuously ratcheting up. And he's right. And basically he's saying that, look, this is going to, you guys did this is going to happen. And I said, when I reacted to the video, I'm like, you're in history class, you were taught the shot heard around the world. In my opinion, this potentially, and I'm fearful that this will be the case, this potentially will be something similar. It's going to trigger a series of events where things continue to escalate and get worse, because you have people now on the right, they're going to see what the left is doing, and they'll be like, okay, if that's how you want to play it. And, I think Hassan is a little scared about this based on what I've seen online. And I think he has every right to be scared, because I can guarantee that someone who's nutty enough to do something would actually have him potentially as a target. And he's a public figure. I would imagine if people want to know where he lives, they could find it. So I can understand why he would be very worrisome about what potentially may happen, because I do think he's got a target on his back now because of people like this, because of what they did. And they radicalized other people on the other side to now go into action. And that's what Asmongold's talking about. The right-wing people are not going to continue to turn the other cheek. Going to see right-wing people do the same. I agree. I fear that's what's going to happen. And so Hutch over here is like, I really don't think that anybody has a great excuse for making a ludicrous claim like this. He's not making a great, look, he's not using some sort of excuse to make this claim. He's just reading the tea leaves. He's seeing what's happening. And he's trying to bring light to this. I'm sorry that Hutch is such a fucking idiot. He doesn't seem to understand and comprehend what the hell Asmongold is actually saying and doing. He's not unaware that political violence is ramping up all over the political spectrum. He's been talking about it. Hutch is a fucking moron. Asmongold's been pointing this out. He's been pointing it out wherever it applies to both sides. But Asmongold's right. Political violence right now has been for quite a while solely owned by the left. Now, you can claim January 6th all you want. I'm sorry, January 6th is nothing compared to what the left has been doing. No one died on January 6th from the hands of the rioters. The only person that died on January 6th was a lady who jumped through a window and was unfortunately shot by a security guard, security officer, Secret Service, whoever that may have been. Now, I question whether or not she should have been shot, but I don't know what that person's mindset was at the moment. Okay. She jumped through the window. I can't help but place the blame on her, honestly. But no one else died. So Zach goes on to say, of course it's ramping up because the platforms and the government exercise zero effort in holding the violent extremists accountable. In the absence of accountability, obviously things will get worse. And he's right. Twitch, Kick, YouTube, X, Reddit especially, Blue Sky, they allow certain things to be said on these platforms that incite things like this, that do nothing but radicalize people. And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about people just reporting the news. I'm talking about people who make certain statements like Hassan, who said America deserved 9/11, or Hassan, who interviews terrorists and says that they're like Luffy, okay, and they fully support him. I mean, Hassan's one of the major examples. That's why I claim that if the right does indeed go and try to do something on their own to retaliate, He's the closest thing I can think of to a Charlie Kirk on the left. I don't think he's as good or as effective as Charlie Kirk, but I do think he's the closest thing that they've got. And I can understand why he would be fearful. I don't want to happen. I don't think it should happen. I fear that it would. And I fear the repercussions of what happened yesterday with Charlie Kirk. And it irritates the shit out of me and makes me so angry that people are, one, even thought about doing this. Two, that they actually did this. And three, that there are people who are celebrating this and calling for other people to be killed purely because they have a disagreement of opinions and political beliefs. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? That's where we're at today. I thought we had kind of, look, I know as a human race throughout history, we've always had conflicts, but I kind of thought at some point we kind of evolved past this whole political violence stuff. But I guess when I look at recent history from just the establishment of our country, I should have known better. It's not the first time and it won't be the last time. I just kind of thought that we were at a point in our society, in my lifetime, that we were past that. But I was wrong. Listen, guys, I don't usually do videos that are political. I don't want my channel to be a political content channel. I don't. Because not everybody agrees on things. I want us to be here to talk about anime and video games. I want to be here playing games and having fun with you guys. But this is important. My fear is this is going to escalate. And the ramifications of what happened yesterday, my fear is that it will be huge. And we don't know when it'll happen. Could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be months from now. Sometimes, depending on what it is, it may take some planning. So it may take some time. Because there are some nutty people out there that aren't just schizophrenic and crazy and can't control their actions. There's a lot of crazy, nutty people out there who are very good at planning things out, taking certain steps, putting things in place, and going through with that plan. And my fear, if the FBI does not catch this individual and hold them publicly accountable, my fear is that it will create copycats because they're going to think they can get away with it. Because the first person wasn't held accountable, that means they can't find him or they don't want to find him. Whatever reason they may have in their head. So, listen, guys, I pray for all you guys. Whether you're a Christian or not, I pray for all you guys. I hope you guys all stay safe. Yeah, this is nuts. And these game developers, Sucker Punch, Magic the Gathering Arena, there was another one, Bungie, and I'm sure there's more that I don't even know yet. I know that Grums and Asmongold talked about making a list, okay, of all these game devs. Like you had this guy from DC who was very vocal about it and was supportive. He was like the main guy for the Red Hood comic. Well, guess what? Your shit's canceled now. Good for you. It should have been. You come out and voice shit like that? No, you don't belong in civil society. I'm sorry. Anybody who is cheering on the death or the assassination of this individual does not belong in civil society. Make mental asylums great again. You know, that's the standpoint we need to have. So anyway, that's all I got for you. I'm so fuming at this. It's driving me up the wall. Have a good day, guys. I'll see you next time.